I will default to one of my favorite quotes by Tony Robbins. The quality of your life largely depends on the quality of your questions. What does that actually mean, and what does that have to do with starting your own detailing business or operating your own detailing business? I will direct this video directly at the guy or girl that's thinking about starting your own detailing business. But with that said, you may be here and you've been operating your detailing business for over 5 years, but yet you still struggle. What is the struggle? Well, it can be many struggles, but the struggle I want to identify today, whether it's the beginner that's thinking about it or the person that's been at it for over years and they're still struggling to ask better questions. But what do you mean better questions, Darren? What are these questions that I'm supposed to ask? I don't understand the context. Well, let me apply the context for you. See, as a business owner, there will be many components to operating your business. Interpersonal interactions. That is a glorified term for dealing with people. Now, let me reduce the people that you will deal with as a business owner down to two varieties. You've got your potential customers, and then you've got your customers. Let's focus on your potential customers. See, as a business owner, you're going to be taking phone calls or maybe texts. People interested in your detailing services. Now, the goal of this first interaction with a potential customer is how to convert them into an appointment. Yes, that's the goal. See, the real goal or the bigger macro picture is you want money in your pocket, right? Okay, you're never going to get money in your pocket unless you do a detail first. You're never going to do a detail unless you make an appointment first. You're never going to make an appointment first unless you talk to a person first, hence interpersonal interactions. So you're on the phone with a potential customer. The goal is to make an appointment so you can do the detail, get paid, and move on. But that's where the questions come in. One of the biggest disadvantages of being a mobile detailing business owner is this. You don't get to see the vehicle firsthand before providing a quote. Yes, you're always going to have to provide a quote for the person because the person's going to want to know the proverbial, how much do you charge? More precisely, how much are you, Darren, going to charge me to detail my car? Well, it depends. It depends on a lot of things, Mr. Potential Customer. That's where the questions come in. It's what I call the conversion funnel. That's what I call it in my course. And yes, you can sign up to be put on the wait list for my course, which is called the Smart Startup. It's what I believe is a smarter way to start your own detailing business. You can find the link in the description box below. The conversion funnel is aptly named because you will take many incoming phone calls, many texts. Not all of them will become your customer. Not all of them will you be able to, wait for it, let the suspense build, convert them into an appointment. Remember, in order to get paid, you got to do the detail. In order to do the detail, you got to make an appointment. The phone call, how do you convert them into making an appointment? Now, this is not to suggest that every person that calls you will want to engage with you, nor does every person that calls you will you want to engage with them. See, each side is going to have their deal breakers. In most situations, it's going to be about money. Yes, money. Now, you as the business owner, this is going to come in the form of a quote. Before you can get money in your pocket, you've got to provide them a quote. How much are you going to charge? But before you can give them a quote, you're going to have to ask questions because, as I said, you can't be there in person to visually assess what you're dealing with. So you have to ask questions. What kind of car? The make, the model, maybe how many miles are on this vehicle? Do they have kids? Do they have pets? When was the last time they had it detailed? Have they ever had it detailed? There's going to be a lot of things that you will need, a lot of information that you're going to have to gather so that you can develop a high resolution mental picture in your head so that you can assign an appropriate, an accurate quote to this person. But wait for it. If you thought that was overwhelming, which it can be, but I have a solution for you because I've literally mapped this out step by step in my course for you, which is why I labeled it a really lame label, but it's very appropriate. The conversion funnel, the funnel, more incoming calls, you're going to only convert a few amount of those people into a detailed appointment. Hence, a series of questions so you can form a mental picture so you can accurately give them two prices, not just one, but two. As a rule, you're going to have to figure out a way to figure out two prices. So the first price is what I call your starting price, which is the first point that this person can pull out, which becomes their deal breaker. You will need a minimum of information so that you can arrive on a starting price so that you can cut to the chase of this phone call. You don't want to spend 20 minutes on a phone call only to find out that your prices that start at are way past what this person is willing to afford or can afford. So you want to cut to the chase in that respect, but it doesn't mean you want to rush off the phone because yes, you're going to have to develop rapport, build trust, display competence and professionalism so this person even wants to work with you if your price is within their budget or their expectations, hence the starting price. My prices start at $350. Oh, wow, that is a lot of money, Darren. I was not prepared to pay that much money. I will see you later. Okay, thank you for your call nonetheless. Or it might be, oh, okay, it's about what I expected. Great, but that's where my prices start at. You will now work through a series of questions. Because the person is remaining on the phone call and it hasn't become a deal breaker for them, you will work through a series of questions. And this comes full circle back to asking better questions. I will teach you how to ask better questions because who among us doesn't like better answers? But if you're not asking better questions, you're not going to get better answers. You're only going to get good answers. Okay, I would much prefer to get better answers. Why? Because I want this mental picture in my head to become not 720 DPI. I want it in HD 1080 DPI, high resolution mental picture so I know exactly what I'm dealing with, how much work will be involved, how much time will be involved in detailing this car. The more accurately I can ask these questions and form this picture in my head, the better it is for both sides. It's a win-win because they will know exactly what they are going to pay. I know what I'm dealing with and I can assign the appropriate or the accurate price for it. That's a lot to throw at you. But the good news is I've mapped it out step by step. And I don't want this to just be a sales marketing video for you. I actually want to deliver some value for you. So I've pulled one of the questions that I ask in what I call my phone consultation worksheet, which literally is a worksheet that you will use if you get your hands on it to walk this person on the phone question by question, entering in the information so that you can arrive at these two price quotes for them. One of the questions is this, and there's two ways you can construct this question. As I said in my previous video, travel time is one of the biggest expenses in being profitable. If you're giving away your travel time, then you're not being as profitable as you can. But I know what that's like. So I have engineered this into my formulation so that you can account for travel time, but you're not going to know how much travel time to account for unless you ask a question, which typically just goes like this: where do you live? Okay, now that sounds like it's probably the right question to ask, but let me tell you from firsthand experience, it's not. You know why? Because I recall one time literally asking this person, because I've got to factor in my travel time. Where am I going to do this detail? I got to know how far I'm going to be traveling. Naturally, you would just ask, where do you live? Which I did. only to find out further in the conversation, oh wait, Darren, yeah, I live in this city, but that's not where you're going to. I'm going to arrange it so that I can do it while I'm at my girlfriend's house because I'm going to go shopping with her while you are detailing my car. It's like, oh, okay, that would have been useful because, okay, cool if I got the appointment, but secondly, I've already given you my starting price, and now I find out that your girlfriend lives much further away than where you live, but I foolishly asked, where do you live? Thinking that I'm going to come to your house in order to detail your car because 99% of the time, that's how it works. But there's the 1% of the time, which, okay, it's only 1% of the time, Darren. Don't overthink it. Well, if I'm going to ask a question, why not ask a question that's more strategic? Hence, asking a better question. So I don't ask any longer, where do you live? I ask more precisely, where will I be coming to detail your vehicle? That's more specific and more precise. I'm confident that if I had asked that question in that way to this lady, I would have gotten the answer sooner versus later. And she would have said, oh, yeah, okay. You know what I was thinking, Darren, is I was going to go to my girlfriend's house. I already arranged it with her. You're going to detail the car there, and her and I are going to go out to lunch, and you're going to be working, and we're going to be going to lunch. So I'm actually going to have you come to her house to detail my car. See, I'm pretty sure she would have given me that information if I had known to ask a better question. Like I said, I'm already asking the question, so I'm already taking the time and effort to do it. Why not make the good question into a better question? Therefore, I got better information, and more precisely, I got the information I needed. Because once again, this process, the conversion funnel, is about that. Working your way down further and further and further with the understanding that at any point along that way, there will be deal breakers either on your side or their side. But if you get down towards the spout of the funnel, you will arrive at your price range. Okay, based on everything you've told me, I would quote you between $350 and $400 to do a full detail on your car. Bam. Then it's a yes or a no in simple terms. And I will leave you there. And I hope that you have, if nothing else, expanded your mind in thinking. If you're thinking of starting your own detailing business, you expand your mind and weigh in on things that perhaps you did not think about before this video. Or if you've been at it for a while and you're struggling and you're thinking, you know what, maybe I'm not asking better questions. Maybe I need to learn how to ask better questions. And it doesn't mean you're going to necessarily want to take my course, but maybe you're just going to go away and say, you know what, I thought I was asking better questions, but I still find myself facing recurring problems. So therefore, maybe I can learn how to ask better questions. Maybe I need to do a deep dive into my own world and figure out that the questions I'm asking are not delivering the answers that I'm needing. Therefore, I need to figure out better questions. And I will leave you with that. Check the link below if you want to get on my wait list, detailvault.com, and I will see you in the next video.